rain and some pretty hefty thunderstorms heading toward Greeley, Colorado, seeing some stronger storms there. Here's a look at what we might think or might find some of the severe weather as we head on into the radars and get down to the nitty-gritty here, right on into southeastern New York State and back out through Scranton, PA, seeing some of those thunderstorms. Right on into New Jersey, we've had some reports of some severe weather here as well. Some of these storms producing not just gusty winds, but torrential rains, and you're really going to have to watch out for that if you're traveling the highways yet this evening, particularly around the Philadelphia area, getting some heavy rain. Minimal, and we'll just look for a few strong storms ahead of that front yet tonight. Tomorrow afternoon, more showers and thunderstorms firing up along the slow-moving front. Another steamy day over portions of the eastern seaboard back down into Florida, and the monsoonal moisture out west coming into play once again, providing you with some showers and storms. Much more comfortable in the northern tier. It's the time of the year we just never really do get rid of the 90s and the heat and the humidity in this part of the country. Those fronts never really make it. So we see the heat across the deep south, and we'll see it return heading into the central plain states by Friday and Saturday. A rainy pattern for the west in the form of isolated showers and storms. Not everybody in the green here is going to get wet, but there is the potential for seeing some wet weather by midweek. And with the high pressure center building here in the middle of the country, all the moisture will be around that high, in the periphery of the high. So scattered showers and storms working up and over the ridge as we head on into Friday, on and through the northern lakes region, and perhaps even stretching into parts of the northeast as we go on into Saturday. But a cooling forecast for much of the country, so that is good news.
And particularly Chicago, Detroit, Pittsburgh, New York.
Right.
Yeah, they're really loving the cooler weather. Coming up, we're going to be taking a look at your local forecast. Stay with us.
Michael, what can you tell us about your future plans?
I like to buy myself.
Area where we think we might find severe weather, the severe weather watch area has been canceled, so no watches out across the entire nation, but still the potential, some pockets here where we already have those thunderstorms going, that some of the storms may reach strong to severe levels. We could still see maybe some very gusty winds and heavy downpours and possibly even some hail, but things appear to be winding down as we head from around Hartford all the way back down through New York City, Philadelphia, continuing to see the brunt of those thunderstorms actually in the northern suburbs, and then east of D.C., some of those thunderstorms continuing, but the D.C. area looking a little bit improved. From Spring Hill all the way back down through Tampa and Sarasota, still looking at some thunderstorms here. Broken across most of around Hartford County heading into Connecticut. Flash flood watches remain in effect for you. We actually had reports around Dutchess County in New York of a rainfall of about 3 inches per hour. So a lot of rain coming down in a short period of time, causing some ponding on the roadways. So that means you need to slow things down just a bit. But you can see from around the Hudson Valley back down through New York City and all the way back down toward Philly, still pretty good line of some thunderstorms and a good deal of rain coming down as all that moves off to the east at about 20 miles per hour. D.C. looks like you're out of the woods for today, but you may see more of it return for tomorrow. Just north of Salisbury, seeing a stronger cell there, and from Charlottesville to just west of Richmond, another line of some showers and a few embedded thunderstorms. Heading back down into Florida from around Spring Hill, back down through the Tampa and Sarasota area. A lot of the heavier stuff just off the coast there. But again, heavy rains with some of these thunderstorms, and this has been moving painstakingly slowly across that region. There has to be a tremendous amount of rain. Watch it along I-75 Interstate 4 here. Watch out for some of that ponding on the roadways. That can certainly slow you down. And reduced visibility is also if you're traveling into northeastern Colorado. Looks like Greeley may be out of the woods, but around Fort Morgan and all the way back out toward Akron, Colorado, you're still going to run into some heavy rains there.
Those of you following our tropical update know we have Tropical Storm Chantal to tell you about in the Atlantic, and forecasters are predicting a very active hurricane season this year. To help you prepare, we're airing a week-long series of special reports. Tonight, in part 1 of Hurricanes, Coordinates for Disaster, we explain how these great storms are forecast.
(1938), New England. A giant hurricane rips up the coastline and kills 600 people. That hurricane came as a complete surprise. It was not forecast to strike New England.
Early in this century, if we go back to how we had to forecast hurricanes, the only information that we had at sea were ships at sea. And at the very beginning of the century, we didn't even get radio reports of ships.
That was before satellite pictures, before radar, and before reconnaissance flights. Those are our 3 greatest tools in forecasting and tracking the giant storms. The first line of defense are the pictures from the weather satellites. We can watch the storms as they develop anywhere in the Atlantic. Once forecasters determine that a storm poses a threat, reconnaissance aircraft are dispatched.
The reconnaissance reports are the only ones that give us the exact intensity of the storm with enough precision.
When the storm gets within 200 miles from shore, forecasters are able to use radar. Radar allows us to track the hurricane on a constant basis. So even though at times one of the forecasting tools might be more useful than others, none of them stands alone.
Each one of these systems each one complements the other. So all these systems need to be used. They all need to be integrated into one picture, one comprehensive picture of the hurricane.
Once hurricanes crash on shore, coastal stations tell us their exact intensity, and study of the wreckage left behind dissolves some of the mysteries of the greatest storms on Earth. Charlie Welsh, the Weather Channel.
Here's the latest on Chantal, 32.2 north, 69.7 west as of the 11 p.m. advisory. And again, wind still at 65 miles per hour. Still moving north, though. Look at that, almost due north. In fact, it has been due north path. That's keeping it off the east coast. That should continue. Thunderstorms to the south, another little batch to the north. But again, kind of disorganized, but we think it will still stay away from the east coast of the U.S. More on this in the Tropical Update at 13 before the top of the hour.
Potential for a few scattered showers and storms right on into the afternoon hour. As a matter of fact, your chances will get probably better during the afternoon as we get the daytime heating, working on that very unstable atmosphere. Then into the southeast, scattered showers and storms expected here as well. They'll be rather random.